Alright folks, here I have my Yamaha Kodiak ATV. It's an '06. Not a lot of miles, but it's starting to get quite a bit of oxidization on it. You can see it's kind of pink instead of red. So I've done some research online. There seems to be a go about doing this, so I thought I'd give it a try. The recipe is the 60-40 mix of 60% paint thinner, 40% boiled linseed oil that you rub on. So I'm going to do a little spot test here on one of the more oxidized spots. Make sure it doesn't come out looking horrible, and then assuming it comes out okay, we'll move on and probably go over the whole thing. It looks like maybe it takes 5 or 6 applications. Alright folks, here's the paint thinner and the boiled linseed oil I'm going to be using. I'm going to mix it up in 60-40, 60% paint thinner, 40% boiled linseed oil. Note, from what I read on the internet, it must be boiled. If you use regular linseed oil, you're going to have a sticky mess. You can see I'm wearing rubber gloves. I'd recommend that for anybody who's going to be playing around with this stuff. Alright, that's been on there for probably 2 minutes. I'm just going to rub it off to see what it looks like once we rub the wet spot off. Well, that's now pretty well dry there. You can see that it definitely looks improved. You can see I'm getting a little bit of color on my cloth there, a little bit of the red. That's a little bit disconcerting, but it doesn't look like it's really stripping much off, and the oxidization, if it's going to come off, will probably have a little color to it. So. Alright, so I've rubbed down this fender, I put the solution on it and just wiped it off. You can see that what it looks like here and then what it looks like where I haven't. Quite a stark contrast. It certainly looks like this solution is cleaning that up and going to make it look better. You see there's still a bit of a white spot here. Here. I think that may be where the fender's actually been flexed and the plastic actually has been bent there. But needless to say, it sure looks like at first glance that this is working really well and gonna make the ATV look a lot sharper. Alright, I'm liking what I see well enough that I think I'm going to go ahead and put this on the rest of this fender. Now if this turns out well, what I'll do is I'll actually take these racks off so I can access all the plastics really well. Right here, folks, is probably one of the most oxidized parts of the ATV. Right here on this front fender. And I don't know if you can get a real good view of it there. I'll go ahead and raise up this camera. There we go. It gives a much better view of this spot. This is one of the worst. This is one of the most oxidized pieces of plastic. This is the most oxidized plastic on the whole machine, is right here. And so, you know, I feel a little bit of texture even. It's that oxidized here. I feel a little bit of texture on the plastic, but this seems to knock it off. Alright, you can see here there's some black plastics here on the ATV. I haven't done anything on them yet. We'll take a look here and see what it looks like they're going to do. It's about time to take the racks off and hit the whole ATV with it. Alright, I've taken off the front rack. so I can get access to all this. You can see here you get a pretty good contrast. You can see the spots where I couldn't reach because the rack was there. You can see that oxidation there, just along there where I wasn't reaching. And here you can't see it so well because of the shadow. But anyway, I'll come over this side. This side is better than the other side was. You can take a look at the difference now. This side's got a lot of oxidation on it, and this side's mostly gone. So we'll go ahead and hit the front here with the solution and see what it looks like. Alright, as you can see, I've taken off the back rack. The back isn't as oxidized as the front was. Well, I've finished this little project for now anyway. I am very impressed with the outcome. This ATV has gone from being pink because it was so oxidized back to red. The blacks are black again instead of gray. Looking really good. I imagine I'll hit it with a handful more treatment, since that's what the guy who recommended it said will stick. But very impressive, pretty easy. Would recommend it to anyone. If that changes, if tomorrow I wake up and my ATV plastics are a heap of melted plastic on my garage floor, I'll be telling you not to try this, but it certainly doesn't look like that's going to happen. Thanks for watching. Like it, please, and subscribe to my channel. Alright, it is the next day. I just thought I'd get this again since it's the next day. It looks great. It doesn't feel wet at all. It doesn't feel oily. I don't imagine it would pick up dirt really bad. It looks so improved from how it was before I did this. Just night and day difference. And like I said, it's looking good. I've only hit it once with that solution. I imagine I'll hit it a few more times, but as you can see, it came out great as far as removing that oxidation. Remember, we looked pretty closely at this spot here. You can see that now. Back to pretty close to stock color. You don't see a lot of difference. There is an H here, so you can see a little bit where it bent, but pretty close back to what the red you'd expect with just going over it one time. And so great outcome. Looks like real easy fix for that problem.